I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the December 15th regular school board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, Mr. Boyer. Yeah, he does.
Nobody wants to sit.
I was gonna say, hey, sure. Yeah, I wasn't really coordinating coming up with where I sat, so
Curl back in.
let me get some exercise.
Right. This is Jennifer Ahold, our featured teacher. I'll speak more on her in a moment. Our Heartland hero was Solid Rock Family Church. That's the church in the community that sponsors us, and really no pun intended, they've been a godsend this year. I mean, they already provide us with a bunch of snacks and goodies, and this year it served as an even greater pick-me-up as we've ebbed and flowed through a pandemic and pushed through just, you know, with where stressors and things have been. And anytime they bring some, it's always welcome. It's hard to turn down food as well. Especially they'll bring us some Panera from the day before. Hosted us on a Christmas party. I mean, $25 gift cards to Harbor Freight and other places. I'll try to see if I can get you on the invite next year.
Absolutely.
But they just do so many things for us to try to support and lift us up. And again, it's been very welcomed all the more this year. Without further ado, this is Miss Jennifer Ahold. Since I came to Lincoln, I'd like to say that I kind of tagged her one of the feisty ones. Really, she's just very passionate about the job. Even through some personal challenges in life, she has pushed through, and her classroom has never wavered. She reaches beyond the kids in her classroom to make an impact. The award here, this plaque, says for your positive impact on the teaching environment. When I started to make notes for this, I made one, and that was that she's a leader among her peers. She really does lead by example, and it's not that she goes around and coaches, but people see what she does, and that's very meaningful. Just as kids sometimes learn from observing, I feel like we as adults sometimes can do that too, particularly if you're an educator. You try to learn from the best so that you can also try to mimic that. So, Ms. Ahold, you're a featured teacher. Thanks for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you have three informational items on the 4.03. Filing closed at 5 p.m. today. There were the same number of candidates as there were seats, so Farmington R7 will not hold an election on April 6th. The board members will be sworn in at the April 20th, 2021 board. Okay, you have a update on a procedure. So go down to the consensual items. Okay. Dr. Kraus, could we have you present on the resolution extension of COVID-19 benefits, please?
Whew, I get out of breath moving up here, and then I got the mask on and everything. Good evening. So tonight I want to talk a little bit about the board resolution on COVID-19 leave. As you know, or may not have known, as employees are quarantined or if they are positive for COVID-19, we were allowed to provide certain stipulations underneath what's called the FFCRA, which is the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. That actually has been going on all year long. It will allow employees under certain circumstances and following guidelines and rules to be able to stay home with a child if they need to, if they are the child care provider. If they are positive, it is not counting against their sick days whenever this occurs. So throughout the year, they receive 10 days that they are able to either be in quarantine or for multiple amounts of reasons. Employees can choose to take that, or they can choose to take their own sick days if they so choose. There are cases where, unfortunately, some employees have been quarantined up to potentially 4 times if they have to, if you think about it, if they have 2 children and one pops positive and the other one doesn't pop positive, and perhaps they're negative, depending upon the separation or 50-50 household and how that rolls out, they might be home the entire time, or they may be home partial time. And with that being said, multiple days add up. So this will not be a new refreshing amount of days, but throughout the 2021 school year, it will still remain and allow us to go until March, the end of March, which is great for our employees because the original act ended in December. So this will allow school boards to make the decision to give our employees those dates if we so choose. And so that is what we are asking, and I know that is what I'm assuming you will approve this evening. So do you have any questions on that?
The only question I have is on the good faith and that. What if the 1st of February we're looking about getting the shots for the teachers? What if they opt out of not wanting the shot, but then they come down with it?
Sure. So, and again, this is just, so you know that there's 2 different vaccines. So you have Parkland BJC that's coming out with one agency, and then or brand or company, and St. Francis County Health Center with the other. I will tell you that both agencies have been unbelievable to work with in the communication and in offering these things to the staff. I don't know, Jeff. I think you still have to stick with that good faith at this point, because I don't even know if we're going to get it at that point.
I figured that, but if it came down to you got it, and then another 21 days, so that say they've been at the 21st, but then they come down with it in March.
Right.
But they had the opportunity to get this vaccine and didn't do it. Are we responsible for them to do that? That was just a scenario. I was wondering if that came up, what was we going to do?
So you got a couple of different pieces to that. So first, we've been told that the vaccine we're going to get, remember, is 2 different shots.
Right.
So those shots occur anywhere from 3 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
21 days.
So if we're in that window of, let's say, February 12th, we'll still have another 3 weeks before they're supposedly going to get us that second shot. So really, if you look at it that way, if it happens on the 12th and you're talking 3 weeks, if it really does happen in 3 weeks, you're really only talking about a window of about 2.5 to 3 weeks in there. The other piece to this, from my understanding, is even if they do get the vaccine, they could still be quarantined because they have a family member in the household that is positive.
Yeah,
well,
so I see that. That's no problem. I don't.
It would still kind of. Yeah. And really, with the law, they don't give you an option of saying you didn't get the shot, so you're excluded.
Right. I mean, there's such a multitude of and honestly, I mean, they are doing the very best that they can, and they're working super hard and super quick, but. Just like I keep telling people, get your name on the list, give them their information, and as soon as they find out, they'll let the community know. Right. But they can't work any quicker than what they already are at this point. That's just their draft phase.
Yeah.
I always put at least a month past that, just to say, our hopes are this,
I would be-
potentially.
Right, and we appreciate all the work they've done.
Yep.
I would be very surprised.
I would
if
too.
we get it, that second shot by mid-March.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
okay.
but that's a good question.
yeah.
Any other questions for Dr. Krause? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, if there's no further discussion, I would entertain a motion to accept the consensual items 6.01 through 6.05.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. I would entertain a motion to close to adjourn, or motion to adjourn to closed session.
We knew what you.
Motion to adjourn to closed session to discuss personnel pursuant to 610.021, paragraphs 1, 3, 13, 14.
Second.
Baffey?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Hahn? Yes. Payne?
Yes.
Lawson?
Yes.
Noble?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes. Thank you all for
Thanks,
coming.
guys. Have a good night.